Alrighty, guys. Let's talk about a ticker that a lot of people want me to review, and that is DVLT, Datavolt AI Inc. So as you can see, they were recently $4, and we just literally went over like a little under almost under $1 here. So I can see why people are freaking out here. And this is why you just never want to chase when price is going up in these upper bands. All right. I try to look for price to revert back to the mean, but I will show you this thing. If you do look up, we are actually in a downtrend according to this EMA 200. When you see that this thing is out of line, just keep in mind that overall you are in a downtrend. Whereas if you look like at a stock like Can, you see the difference. You see how the EMA 200 is down at the bottom. So you'll start to see a difference, right? Whereas DVLT, it's not all there. Sure, you can get a bounce in these support areas. You can see right in here, you are at a very nice support area here, which is where I would think a bounce would happen. If this does not bounce in this area, you just need to cut your losses out. Obviously, anything with a 15% loss, if you're down 15%, just move on the play and get it back on another ticker. That's literally my most important role with swing trading is because some of these can just be a false, a false move where they pump it up and then they dump it all the way back down to where it is. But this for area right here, I always look for when I look for support levels near my EMAs, I always look for where has price accumulated. And you can see we have accumulated a little here, and then the big one is, I guess I should label it here. That's going to be your big accumulation because as you can see, you have more than a couple candles accumulating, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So, but do you really want to risk this coming all the way back down to down that under area? I mean, actually, you're already at that area right now. Come to think of it, right in here, you're actually in it. You can see it perfectly went to that demand area and it shot right up. So what I like to say is a lot of things, guys, you can look at your trend tools, right? And you can look at support resistance on a daily channel. A lot of the times that I'm doing for myself, even with my swings that I'm talking about, like SOC, I'm looking for price to be at the lower band for an entry for my entry criteria. So you can see how, when you use a 15-minute or 5-minute, you see how when price comes into these lower bands, you get these kind of rejection types of moves, and you can look to accumulate only into your stronger demand zone, which is right up in here. This right here is not good because it was nowhere near where I wanted my EMA 50 to be at, right? So, but right in here is the biggest demand zone. If you watched me day trade today, for example, this is why I like day trading better because you can get a tighter stop loss. When I was day trading today, it's the same concept, right? But smaller time frames. I took 2 trades today on WORX. They both were successful. You look at the same patterns that I look at. Right in here, I had move that up here. It was right here that I put the accumulation zone, and then right up in here I put my stop loss. Same thing for swing trading. As you can see, you come into the demand zone with your EMA 200, and then you see this move up, and then it could reject into what? Your next area of supply, and that's what it did. And then I took my profit. It comes all the way back down to what? The next area of demand. And as you can see, it shoots up from there and goes higher from there. And you'll see this constantly work. DVLT, let's look at a bigger picture. Where is your area of demand? And that's really what you want to look for is sideways accumulation. This is literally your last results here. If it breaks, this area here and it closes under $101, I would just call it a day, right? If it does not pull this up, there's no sense holding on to a losing trade and you keep losing money and money and money and money and money. My thing is you want to get into the demand area just like how I day trade. And if you go into this area, you're like, okay, that's a 27% loss. That's too big. I need to go maybe a little more into here. And then you can be like, okay, there's a nice 15% loss that I'm willing to take. That's all there is to it. I think DVLT could bounce in this area. We'll see. This is a nice little area here where you can see the consolidation. And if it doesn't bounce from there, then unfortunately it looks very bearish. Okay, but do keep in mind we could retest this 200. We are in a downtrend overall, but this is coming back to reality support. It has tons of volume, so the whole market in general was just freaking terrible. Just keep that in mind. Most people who are swing trading right now are getting wrecked because the market is just bad. You really want to stick with some really stable stocks. For me, I went in with Plug because, as you can see, we have this beautiful 200 at the bottom. We have an earnings run up we could possibly have. I went with Cura. If you're in my Discord, you see the beautiful plates that I had here. Beautiful EMA 200 that just crossed. We came down in here for support into this demand area horizontal box. And as you can see, we are pumping massive from there. That's really what you want to look for. I don't think DVLT is something I would alert for. Maybe in this area here, but also that 200 is not at the very bottom. I kind of want to make sure I have all my ducks in a row. If I'm looking to trade against the trend, it's going to be something like this, where we have time distance, lower band touch, and then having a retest of that 5 or that EMA 10. That's what I would be looking for. But I just want to do a recap on DVLT. I hope you guys found this analysis good. My stop loss, if I was in it, would be below this demand area, which is slightly under $1. So, and that's going to be your psychological level. But yeah, I hope you guys found this useful. If you guys want to join the Discord, I go live every day. I'm going to work my butt off to show you guys how to be profitable. I do a very simple strategy where what I just showed you on how to swing trade, I showed you exactly how I do it on my day trade, where I draw out my demand zones. I look for price to come up into the EMAs, and then that reversion to the mean, or that spike up or down. And you can trade it however you want. If you want to join the Discord, hit how to subscribe, hit day trade alerts. You get access to everything for $12 a month. If you subscribe on your computer, you'll avoid the iOS fee. Try to do it your own computer. If you have an Android, you won't be able to subscribe unless you use your phone's browser or just use your computer. But and then you can see right here, I have the alerts section here. I do penny alerts, day trade alerts, which are going to be your big cap stocks, swing trade alerts, and then the subscriptions tab with the channels you can communicate and go from there. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Hope to see you guys there, and let's make some money together.